the Derech Eretz, the way a person should eat. Today we'll learn a little bit about the mitzvah of zimun. When you have three people eating together, they have a mitzvah to say the zimun. Okay? And how do we know it? Where does this mitzvah come from? It says in the Torah, there's a verse in the Torah that says, Gadlu la Hashem iti u'neromema shmo yachdav. Gadlu la Hashem iti, meaning you praise Hashem together. U'neromema shmo yachdav. We'll praise the name of Hashem together. Or there's another pasuk. Ki shem Hashem ekra, avu godel Elokeinu. The name of God we will call. Avu godel, bring greatness to God. Klomar, sh'adam echad omer l'shnayim, one individual says to the other two, so we're all having a meal right now, the one guy says to the other two, Neromema or avu godel Elokeinu. Let's praise Hashem together or bring a greatness to Hashem. Hamezamen, someone who makes the zimun, Yezamen ve'verech et birkat hazan b'kol ram. The first bracha, hazan et ha'olam kulo b'tuvo, it's called birkat hazan. He has to say it b'kol ram, out loud. Ushar ha'sadim, and the rest of the rest of the participants in the seuda, in the meal, they said quietly to themselves. They have to hear themselves, but they said to themselves. In our custom, she'ein yotzim edecho birkat ha'mezamen. We are not fulfilling our obligation to say the grace after meal, the birkat hamazon. We are not fulfilling the obligation by someone else saying the bracha. He says out loud, and we are not fulfilling we have to say it ourselves. And those who are eating together, they have to say the bracha. At the end of each blessing, they should make sure to conclude the bracha before the leader, the guy who does the zimun. So they can wait and then pause and wait for him to conclude the bracha and then say amen after his bracha. They say Baruch Ata Hashem Bonei Yerushalayim. Not in our case, it's a little bit with Speedy Gonzalez, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit difficult, but in a normal situation, you should try to be ahead a little bit and then say amen. If there are those who did not complete the meal, so we finished the meal and we are now saying Birkat Hamazon, but there are those who didn't. Ya'anu lazimun, they still allowed, they should answer the zimun. Ve'yishmeu b'shtikat Birkat Hamezamen ad siyum Birkat Hazan. They should wait and be silent until until he concludes the bracha of Hazan, the first bracha, Baruch Ata Hashem Hazan et hakol. Now, if three people did the zimun, yatsu yadei chova again v'chad mem lo ana al zimun. If somebody didn't respond to the zimun, he still fulfilled his obligation just by sitting there and being there. Ve'enam tzrichim lachzor u'lezamen shuv, and he doesn't have to do the zimun once again. Okay?
Why 3 and not 2 or 10?
Because you have to have rabim. You have to have two people. Two. It says miut rabim shnaim. At least to be called rabim, plural is two. At least you have to have two. So one says havu godel Elokeinu. So the two people are responding together. So one needs to call the others. Let's praise Hashem, and the two are responding. Or havu godel or neromema. Rabotai nevarech. The Sfaradim say Ashkenazim Raboisai Mervel and Benchen. Let's say the bracha together. It's the same idea. I heard a story from a rabbi. He said that there was one guy that he was in the Holocaust, and he was very scrupulous about the Birkas Hamazon, the grace after meal. He would say it word by word, slowly looking at the siddur, concentrating. He was very careful about this bracha. So they asked him why. So he said that when they were kids, they were learning in a Talmud Torah or Cheder, and the rabbi told them, their teacher told them that they are going to the next day to be tested by a great rabbi. I forgot his name, one of the Chazon Ish, one of the big rabbis, known rabbi. So they all were, they were studying the whole night, preparing themselves to the test. So after the test, this big rabbi told the kids, it was before the Holocaust broke. He said to them, usually you come to be tested by a teacher or rabbi, he gives candies to all the kids. But I'm going to give you a tip. The tip is that you should say the grace after meal with concentration, and it will help you a lot. So he said some kids took it, some kids kept up with it a little bit, but he, for some reason, it stuck with him. And it stuck with him, and he started saying it every day. Every time he ate bread, he would say the grace after. And the Holocaust broke, and he was taken, and so he was brought into a place where what they did, in Mach Shemam, they put like a pole, like a pull-up bar. They put a bar, and they said if your height fits the bar, you go to the right, meaning you're going to live. If it's not, you're going to the left, meaning if you're tall enough for the labor camp, you can survive. You go to. If not,
what was that?
So it was. They wanted you to be at least 16, mature enough to go to the labor camp. So the guy behind him was a very tall guy, and he was short. He told him, try to make yourself as much as you can to pass that thing. So he saw that the guy behind him is caring for him. And then they went to another examination. And the next examination, they asked people what was their profession, what they're good at. So he saw, the guy behind him saw that he's nervous. He doesn't know what to say. Because he didn't have any profession. He was 14, 15 years old. So he told them, the guy behind him said, tell him you're a chef. I'm a chef. Tell him you're also a chef. So they went there. He said, I'm a chef. And it was lucky enough that they took him to be the cook at for the German officers. So he said, people around, like he would see Jews were initiated, and he had like red chicks. He was eating potatoes all day. Why was he eating potatoes? Because he knew that he cannot eat bread if he's going to eat bread. There was bread there. Any food he wanted. Obviously, he didn't touch the non-kosher food. Potatoes he could eat. So he ate the potatoes, and he knew that if he's going to bench, the German officers will see him sitting and he's going to kill him on the spot. No, they knew he was Jewish, and that's why he was in the labor camp. But he said if he's going to bench for hours, they're going to kill him on the spot. He can't, and he didn't want to bench halfway. So this time eating was sticking to potatoes. I don't have to say. So he went on like this, and he was healthy, and he was cruising through the Holocaust as much as possible. And one day, a German officer comes, and he sees him, and he sees the red chicks, and he sees the guy is lively. The guy is
a little too healthy.
So he said to him, "Dirty Jew, I want you now to go outside, and I want you to dig a hole in the ground. You take the breast meat hammer that you're chopping you take schnitzel. You take the breast of a chicken, and you're tenderizing hammer. I want you to take this tenderized hammer. I want you to dig 2 by 2, 2 meters by 2 meters, and 2 meters deep outside." Now this kid knew that it's a death punishment. The severe cold, it was a brutal cold. He knew if he goes outside and digging, he's dead. There's no way he's going to do it, and that's why the Germans told him to. The German officer told him to do it. Take this. I mean, how can he dig with this little hammer? There's no way. So he goes outside, and he prays to God. He said, "Listen, God, you see, I try to keep up with everything. I didn't eat bread. I didn't say Birkas Hamazon because I knew I wasn't be able to do it. Please help me out." So a truck passes by with some Polish workers. And they see a Jew, so they started, Jews, they're wearing this pajamas. He has nothing on him, just a pajama. So they wanted to get out of the truck and beat him to death. This Polish workers or Ukrainian workers or whoever they were. So the driver said, "We don't have time for this." They stopped the truck, and then he said, "We don't have time for this." So they all took potatoes and carrots, and they threw it on him. And they drove. They continued driving. Another truck comes by, and he sees people, also workers. He tells them, "Do you want potatoes and carrots?" So they said, "Yeah." He said, "Come, help me out. Dig this hole. You can take all the potatoes and carrots that you have over here." That they threw on him. They dug the hole exactly. He goes inside. The officer says, "What are you doing over here? I told you to dig the hole." He said, "I did it." So he goes outside. He measures it 2 by 2. See exactly it's 2 by 2. He says, "I don't know. Your God loves you. Your God loves you. Go back to the kitchen." And he said all of that happened because the same Birkas Hamazon properly. And years later, he kept this minhag. So.
New segment of you telling stories.